Hello, everyone. Welcome to 21 Alive News Plus. I'm Kara Brzezinski here with you right now. We're going to go over some stories that have been updated throughout the day and some news stories for you here. First, I want to give you an update on that ICE shooting at a Texas facility. There was a Texas ICE facility that was shot. There were multiple shots fired today. So let's first get into it. So it's according to Homeland Security, 2 detainees were killed and a third is in critical condition. We have also learned the shooter has been identified as 29-year-old Joshua John. John is dead from a self-inflicted gun wound. Now I want to take a look at we have a person live there. Jay Gray is live on the scene. Let's take a look at what he has to say as he's on the scene and learning more as well. What's up, Jay?
Well, we've got an update on exactly what's going on here in Dallas with the shooting at an ICE detention facility here. I can tell you that 2 people are dead at the scene. One of those, the gunman who apparently turned a weapon on himself, and the other we haven't had identified at this point. We know that 4 people overall were shot. What we've been told by local law enforcement is that none of those who were shot are law enforcement, either federal or local law enforcement officers. So still waiting some confirmation on that. We know that this happened in the early morning hours, and the shots apparently fired from a rooftop next to this facility that is really an area where it's a field office. They bring people in for booking and then move them once they are arrested, or it's where other immigrants come for regular routine check-ins. And so that was happening this morning as well. We are told from inside the facility there was chaos as the shots rang out, panic. A lot of people there, a lot of families there, so a lot of people worried about what was unfolding. We also know that this is the second attack on an ICE facility in this North Texas area within the last several months here. FBI continuing the investigation here along with Dallas police. Will continue to monitor things as well. For now, though, that's the situation here in Dallas. I'm Jay Gray, NBC News.
Thanks so much, Jay. Now we look to Pittsburgh, where there was a stabbing at a high school in that area. Let's take a look at that. So 3 students we know are injured in the stabbing at a Pittsburgh area high school. Pittsburgh police were on scene at Carrick High School. They responded to the stabbing this morning. According to Pittsburgh Public Schools, 1 student used a small knife to injure 3 other students. 2 students were taken to the hospital for stab wounds to their abdomen, with a school spokesperson saying 1 student's injuries may be more serious. The 3rd student had a minor cut on their hand and was treated at the scene. The suspect, a male student, was taken to the Pittsburgh Police headquarters. Police believe the attack was not random, but the violence has unsettled many parents who have students that attend that school. We know some new information from earlier that we got about the police stabbing shooting. A Fort Wayne police officer is now in recovery. We know he's in recovery after being stabbed by a suspect. That was earlier this week. The department has confirmed that the suspect is dead. We got that confirmation about 24 hours ago. The stabbing happened while the officer was responding to a domestic disturbance on St. Mary's Avenue. That was Monday night, like we said earlier this week. Police say the suspect had an altercation with the officer involving a knife. That's when investigators tell us police shot and killed the suspect. The officer who was stabbed is now in stable, non-life-threatening condition. The identities of the suspect and officer involved have not been released yet. Now, looking across the state, Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita's office is calling on Hoosiers to report educators or administrators making comments that celebrate or rationalize the murder of Charlie Kirk. In a post on X, Rokita shared the post of 1 student who worked at Indiana University. Rokita questioned if the student should keep their job and then encouraged concerned parents or students to contact the university president. This is one of a series of posts the Attorney General has made on social media. Rokita urges Hoosiers to submit evidence through the, quote, Eyes on Education portal. Rokita says the educators' comments will be posted on the portal once they are verified. The ACLU of Indiana says this is an attack on public speech outside of work. Now to a national story. A decades-old group that focused on supporting women in the military is now being terminated. The Pentagon says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is eliminating the, quote, Defense Advisory Committee on Women in Services, end quote. That's the name of the group they're getting rid of. According to a statement on social media, Hegseth said the organization advances a, quote, divisive feminist agenda that hurts combat readiness, end quote. The committee in question debuted in 1951, which around that time, women started to take on larger roles in the military, and that's why they introduced it. The group offered advice on topics like body armor, domestic abuse support, and even healthcare. Also happening nationally, the Trump administration has launched an internal investigation to FEMA employees who warned that the disaster agency was at risk. The employees were placed on leave last month, and sources and internal emails show the agency has ordered them to sign non-disclosure agreements and schedule interviews with investigators. The employees had signed a public letter to Congress titled, quote, Katrina Declaration. It was warning that the administration's overhaul of disaster relief agency is undermining emergency response and endangering the public. Camp Mystic, the camp in Texas that was affected by the floods and it was deadly. Camp Mystic is set to reopen in Texas, and that's after July's deadly flooding. 27 young campers and counselors lost their lives in the devastating floods that hit Texas Hill Country. Owners sent out a notification, this was on Monday, announcing a number of rebuilding projects that they're underway and is to lead to next summer's reopening. In the flood's aftermath, the Texas legislature passed new laws to address camp safety throughout the state. Camp Mystic leaders said they're implementing those new safety protocols and including moving cabins away from dangerous floodplains. The camp also said that it will build a memorial to honor those who were killed in the flood. That amounts and has upset some parents who say they were not consulted or informed about it. Back here in Fort Wayne, if you're looking for a job, the Fort Wayne International Airport might be the place to go tomorrow. They're hosting a job fair. We're looking ahead, that's going to be tomorrow. It runs from 1 to 7 in their terminal building. We're told there are a number of full-time and part-time opportunities at the airport right now. Attendees are asked to bring their resume, and there might even be some offerings for interviews to attain a job. More information about the open positions, including pay, can be found on the airport's website. Now look into the Indiana Fever. They look to get back in the win column after last night's loss to the Las Vegas Aces. This is in the WNBA semifinals, part of the playoffs. They're in a series with the Las Vegas Aces, and now the teams are tied 1-1 in the best-of-5 series. Indiana is coming back, trying to win again, and they're returning to the home court Friday for Game 3. That's at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Tip-off is set for 7:30 on ESPN2, or if you're in the Indianapolis area, head on over to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That's all I have for you right now on 21 Alive News Plus, but we're always on at 21alivenews.com, and we'll be on soon with your 4 o'clock news. For now, Kara Pazuchek, 21 Alive News Plus.